Hello, welcome to my channel. In this video I'm going to be sharing with you a little bit about how I use dreams in my artwork, and I'm going to show you a sketchbook. I've started painting my dreams recently and I've got quite a few of them, which has been a little interesting panorama of ideas for me, and just sharing some of my thoughts about dreams. I think I come from the premise that dreams come from a place that's beyond us. Like a lot of people, neuroscientists and people like that, believe that it's just a function of the brain to sort of sweep and clean the mind after the day's activities. But I really do believe that they are quite sacred, and they're filled with communications and a lot of depth and a lot of archetypes. And I talk about how these images can be amplified in our artwork and can lead us to a greater sense of wonder, I think, which is really, really important, to have that feeling of enchantment in the world, that there is more than this world, I guess, that there's a world that's more real. I had a quote that I've been ruminating on, is by George MacDonald: "Our life is no dream, but it ought to become one, and perhaps will." That's from his fairy tale Fantasties, and I've been thinking about the meaning of that, and really he's pointing to the fact that even the dream world might be more real than the world that we're in, the tangible material world. So that's very interesting. I hope you enjoy. First of all, I'm just going to show you some bits and bobs that I've been up to apart from this project that I'm doing, and and I'll take you through what I've been doing in painting my dreams. Please like and subscribe if you feel inclined. That would be fantastic. See ya. I'm getting into the habit of taking my art supplies with me wherever I go. It's a very quiet spot, and I'll show you what I'm doing. I was a bit serious today. I bought, a little bit of water. I bought my ink tents, and of course my dog, and and just heaps of art supplies in my bag. So that's made a difference, and such a beautiful day, and I'm loving capturing these boats and the clouds, even though actually the sun's gone down a bit, but the clouds are phenomenal. They're so beautiful. Aren't they, Stuart? He thinks so. I've been working on this painting in the last couple of weeks, just with my acrylic paint, and it's on a hard board. It's about, 60 centimetres by 80 centimetres, so it's quite large. And it was based on a previous video I did. I showed the process of this drawing here. So it's based on this drawing. Happy with the way it's going, and it made me think a lot about Matisse. So I've been studying some of his interiors and the way he uses patterns and colours and makes it all work and look really beautiful. So So I'm wanting to share something that I've been doing lately. Hopefully that's in focus. This is an A3, just cartridge paper journal. I've actually been painting my dreams, writing them down, and the images that sort of stand out to me I've been painting. And I'll just show you through the images. So they're very, very childlike, as you can see, and just the images that kind of stand out to me. And I've just written just a brief sort of title of what they are, or I did further on anyway. Really big, kind of expansive, you can see that there. Pictures. I kind of wish it didn't have a ring binder, but anyway. So yeah, I'm sort of clocking up quite a few of them, and I just intend to keep going with this. When I was studying counselling, I did a brief part of my prac was on art therapy, and we looked into dreams, and you're probably not getting that fully in shot. We looked into dreams, and I did a little bit of dream work back then, and I've just been really wanting to revisit it in a more intentional way, and more of it kind of a thing. So yeah, I've got quite a few in there. Checking that it's in shot. This was just a dream snippet, like it was literally just a brief. I don't even think I wrote down the dream, but I feel like I've captured the feeling, and this one's unfinished. If I show you, it's just scratchy and unfinished. But the main thing about that, actually, which I did want to share, was I've been originally, like, I would look at a dream and say, with this one it's horses, and I would sort of ponder, okay, so what does a horse mean? What's the meaning of horses? What's their archetypal significance? In other words, like where are horses in mythology and in our history as human beings, and what do they represent, and what does that represent for me? But I'm actually really trying to push beyond that, or to think of it in a different way, because I think that dreams are revelatory, yes, but they also invite us into mystery as well, into sitting with that mystery. And I've been looking into the work of James Hillman. He had a lot of things to say on dreams, and his way of looking at dreams is to sort of resist the urge to give a sort of interpretation or to label things. So say this one is a black cat, so I don't want to label what does that black cat represent. It's more asking the question, what does it feel like to have a black cat trying to pounce on you? So you're basically staying with the image, like not reducing it down to, oh, well, a black cat means this, because as soon as you do that, you've robbed it of all its mystique and energy, and it's basically, you can tuck it away and not think about it again. So by staying with the image, you are inviting it to almost expand, and for your imagination to be nourished by it, and you're sort of deepening and exercising or amplifying your ability to sit with mystery. And I think it's so sort of underrated in our culture, you know, the idea of mystery. I think a lot of us are like demystified and disenchanted with the world, because everything has a label and everything can be, you know, put down in empirical terms. And dreams get us beyond that, because there's no such thing as fact. Everything sort of is defying our logic, really. And I feel like in putting these in images, in a way that is doing that for me. It's just amplifying the image, and in some way, like even though I can't look at any one of these pictures and say, well, it means this, this and this, and I wouldn't want to do that, as like a panorama, as looking at them as a whole, it just represents a whole block of ideas. It's like in the day world, we live and move in the reality in what's seen, and in the night world it's the same. It's a reality just as much, but it's unseen and it's sort of unknown and mysterious, and you're sort of bringing a little bit of that to the surface and allowing yourself to sit with it. So yeah, I sort of feel, and in each of these I can sort of remember the feeling behind the dream. Another thing James Hillman asks us to do is to sort of, it's almost like sort of getting you to view it, the images as sacred. So I mean, this one's very loaded with archetypal sort of images, and it would be sort of almost dialoguing with the image to so that you're doing it justice. Like this image of an eel doesn't want to be compared to something else, or the sea snake, it doesn't want to be compared to something else or to be labelled. It wants to be appreciated for what it is and what it does. So if you look up the qualities of eels and sea snakes and these sea creatures, you find out, you know, some really fascinating sort of things, and you try and take your ego out of it, like what does it mean for me, but you just allow yourself to sit with the image as it is, if that makes sense. It's a very different way of working with dreams, and I think both have merit, looking for the symbolic elements and just allowing yourself to sit with the mystery. They both have you know, valid relevance, but I think often we sort of wear ourselves out in our thinking trying to analyse things to death. And so I know that these images have had an effect on me and have been really informative for me and valuable for me, but I can't quite sort of pin it down to words. And so I'm just going to keep going with it, and I think it's a really wonderful activity to do if you've done that before as well. Like if you've written down your dreams, or if you dream prolifically and draw them, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear about it. And I am going to sort of delve probably a little bit more deeper into these ideas and concepts. I'm going to sort of try and expand on a dream and work on the image, I guess, and see if I can develop it into a painting. There's so much going on in all of these pictures, and I think sort of that feeling of being anti-gravity draws me, and this one draws me as well, because the symbol of the horse and just the fact that they have jumped across this chasm. And the chasm feels interesting because that feels like all of the unconscious in there, full of sort of mystery, and the part of, you know, the dream world that I'm wanting to engage with the most is just being able to sit with that mystery. So I don't know, I'm just going to try and put down some marks and see what comes of it. I've read through a few of my dreams, and yeah, the thing is not to put too much stock or care about the final outcome, and just see what kind of emerges anyway. So I might use some external references if I need them. So I've got this, put this down a bit lower. Feeling really anxious, I don't know why. So I'm using oil pastels. They don't lend themselves to being too fussy with detail. So I'm going to make some marks and use up as many bits of paper as I need. I've got quite a few here, and then I've got my just my cheap cartridge pad that I can use. So yeah, see how it goes. So we take some deep breaths and just going to grab any sort of colour. I think I'm going to start with just making some marks. So initially my intention here was to just amplify the image of the horse jumping over this steep chasm and successfully jumping over it, which led me, I think, to really connect with a couple of other dreams that I had. One was of myself going down into this really deep watery chasm that was filled with sort of people and things that I couldn't quite make out. And I think I must have struggled with that image somewhere because I had another dream of a portal, which it was really vivid, a really strange image of sort of like the fabric of our existence and our reality being ripped open and revealing these angelic beings on the other side, and that really stayed with me. I'm going to try one with a watery medium. I'm going to try with some Indian ink. Feels like something a little bit more fluid. Yeah, so when I did this picture I was a lot more relaxed, and I think you can tell just by the way the marks are going down, and the medium really lent itself to me I'm just almost like visually sort of thinking about all these things. And what did emerge was a tree and the idea of this portal and the horses, and it really did, I really ruminated a lot during the week about what horses meant to me and how they've been with me in my life and how they are in the lives of all of us, and that the type of animal they represent. Like there's war horses and work horses, and they've sort of been with us every step of the way. I'm going to do a picture based on this one. Probably you can't make it out, but I feel like I can. I feel like there's some images in there that probably only I can see that I want to amplify a little bit. So I'm going to use some paint, I think. This is the initial drawing done by using just an Inktense pastel. It's probably fairly hard to make out. The portal is sort of here. There's a portal here, and that's just a tree coming across, and I've got two horses, maybe the suggestion of a path. And I had a dream where it was really abstract. It was like there was a ripping apart of the curtain of the world, I guess, and you could see past that into another heavenly realm. Really, it would look like a heavenly realm, and these figures reminded me of Renaissance paintings of angels, just really blue and vibrant and beautiful. So I'm going to paint it all in, and I'm actually quite happy with this composition at the moment. We'll see how it goes, just using my Jo Sonjas to add a bit of colour and a bit of clarity to it. As I'm painting this, I'm sort of reminded of, is it in Ireland where they've got sacred spaces and portals? Like you can go in the forest and there's like a sacred space which is like a portal for a thin space, I think they call it, where, yeah, it's a portal for the spirit world to meet with the temporal physical world. So I said earlier that I felt sort of almost struggled with the idea of a chasm and what that represented. And I think it's interesting that I exchanged the chasm and turned it into a portal. And I realised that both of those things are entry points into an unknown realm. It's just that one is at your feet and you don't know how far it's going to drop down, and the other is sort of straight in front of you. So this is the underdrawing for my canvas. I think, I'm not sure if I mentioned, it's quite large. It's about 80 or 90 centimeters wide. And I'm just going in with like a light wash. So basically I'm leaving it a little bit open-ended, so I'm probably going to change things around. I think it's always nice to have that license to change things if you need to in the process of the painting, so the painting can unfold like as an entity in its own right. I also thought it might be nice to mention, or good to mention, that I made it a habit for many years to record my dreams, and I truly understand when people say they don't remember their dreams. I think science tells us that we all dream, and but whether we remember them, some people do, some people don't. But I do know that by even setting the intention to record your dreams by leaving a journal or a diary by your bed, you're more likely to remember them. And I also think even to recall the emotions that you had in the dream is really, really important too. And just it's a wonderful practice. I really would recommend it if you're a creative. And I think actually we all are creative. Also, I know I've been talking about ways of interpreting or dealing with or responding to dreams, but I also think it's a very open-ended and personal process. I think everybody is different in the way they are with their dreams, so there's no rules and there's no limitations. It's just an open field, and a really exciting one in my opinion. So I've worked on this painting again today, the one that was based on my dream and the magical portal. And I think it's going to take me some time. I've brought it a little bit further along in that I've got, I'm sort of a little bit more happy with these figures. They feel a little bit more ethereal, but it needs to all tie together as a whole. So now I'm sort of in the middle of the painting and starting to think about how to lead the eye around the canvas using color and just shapes. I'm wondering over here, I'm just wondering about doing some sort of flowers or bushes around it. I feel like it needs a bit of color coming forward. This is the same size as my Matisse style painting of the interior, so it's 60 by 80, I think, or 60 by 90 actually. It's quite rectangular, something like that, centimeters. And yeah, I've got my reference just up there, and I have a few little photo references, especially the idea of the thin place Celtic landscapes. So that's really intrigued me. So a lot has unfolded out of this, a lot more than the initial dream, which was what I was hoping for. Thanks for watching. Wishing you many, many blessings and creative moments as you go forward in your life, and we'll see you next time. Bye.